Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Gina.
This is Jeff. This is the Geoff and Gena Show, episode 15. Welcome.
And I'm Gina. How you doing?
Here we go.
How you doing?
We are downtown Nassau.
Like down by Woods Rogers Wharf.
Okay.
And Jeff and I are having lunch today at...
Tapas.
We're having tapas. We're at the Dali Tapas restaurant.
There we go.
What's your name? Mikey?
Mikey.
Thank you. And Mikey just brought us some draft
Tapas size.
tapa size. Okay then.
We had one question. Do you have paella?
Yes, we have paella. We have different type of paellas, but they can take half an hour.
They take half an
Yes,
hour.
we have it cooked fresh.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right then. We're trying to decide between the conch salad and the paella. Now, the conch salad that you have on the menu, is it like Bahamian conch salad?
It's
Or?
Bahamian conch salad.
Is Bahamian conch salad?
And we actually put it in a shell instead of a bowl. You put it in a shell.
Oh, that should be kind of cool.
No, that is.
So you have two options. Either you get a conch salad with the paella,
Okay.
or you can start off with the conch salad and have your beers and then wait for the paella.
Okay, you want to try that? You want to do that? Or what do you want to do?
Is the paella heavy? Is that a heavy meal? What's that?
It depends if you're a heavy eater or a light eater.
We're light.
It's good for two or one person.
Okay,
That's the size of the pan right there.
okay. We normally share food because we like our light.
So you can start with the conch salad and then make your way up to the paella.
Sounds-
Hopefully the beer will fill you a little too. So hopefully that.
So we'll do that. We'll start out. You want the conch salad?
We'll start with the conch.
Okay, we'll start with the conch
Okay,
salad.
so which type of? Sorry. The paella is right there. Do you have the rice or the pasta?
What do you want to do? You want it? Because we could have rice or pie. We'll probably have the rice. That's the paellas.
Okay, that's different one. Either you want just plain meat, chicken, chorizo, or mixed meat, the chicken, pork, chorizo, or the lobster.
Chicken,
Calamari.
pork, and chorizo. Okay. What about with the seafood?
Seafood. Okay. We have carp.
We have
The seafood. Mix could be the calamari, mussel, and shrimp.
Oh, that
Or
sounds.
the Valenciana, that's the meat and the seafood. We just have black rice calamari also.
Okay. That sounds like the most, what do you call it, the most popular? Yeah, the combination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicken, chorizo, calamari, mussel, and shrimp.
And shrimp. Okay, we'll go ahead and try that one.
Okay.
Okay, the Valenciana mixed style. Okay, which is mixed paella Valencia.
No problem.
Valencia, Spain.
Yes.
Okay, all right, cool. This is our first time having tapas, so we.
Okay, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, wonderful. All right, awesome. So, we ordered our first paella dish. Was our first Spanish dish
In Nassau, Bahamas.
in Nassau, Bahamas.
So, we're trying to be, this is what, an intercontinental brunch?
Exactly. And guess what? If we like it here, we're going to Valencia, Spain to actually have the authentic one where they actually fish the seafood out of the sea and then bring it to our table cooked. That's
There
what we
go.
want, you know
There
what I mean?
we go. Hilda, cheers.
Cheers.
Here's
There we go.
draft.
All right, this is to our brunch.
Our brunch. There we go.
So what's the yeah, on it? That's the Salvador Dali statue. Because Salvador Dali was known for wearing his zebra print lined hats. So and he's a Spanish artist, Spanish painter that very well known for his impressionist, yeah, and I was going to say his unique style of interpreting life.
There we go.
Kind of like how you and I have a unique style of interpreting life, huh? Would
Yes,
you
we
say?
do, dear. Yes, we
Yes, we
do.
do. Awesome.
Now, Where do you want to begin with today?
Well, this is a wonderful tourist spot, so we thought that we'd come and check it out. It's downtown. It's next to the Hilton, the British Colonial Hilton, which is now the Point.
Right.
It's now going to be called the Point, and they're really building that marina out there, and the new part of the hotel. It's very interesting. We saw it on the way up here.
That's a portrait of Ronnie Butler.
Where?
Right behind you.
Right behind. I got to put on my glasses because I can't see
Okay.
anything.
I'll take them around and take a look at what's on the wall.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead. I'll get it. I'll get it.
You're taking a look at what everything looks like. Oh, look at the foreign money. And beautiful. There we are. I think the upstairs is the office. And there we go.
Ronnie Butler?
That is Ronnie Butler.
The late, great Ronnie Butler, who's a very well-known performer. Performed all his life here in the Bahamas until when did he pass away? Last year?
Yeah, I believe so. Last year.
Yeah, last year. So, yeah, we do miss him.
A legend.
He's best known for his legendary song "Burma Road," talking about the Burma Road riots. You know.
Ah, there we go.
Sorry.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Here's our.
There you go.
Wonderful. Here's
This
our conch salad. Thank you very
is
much.
salad.
Look, we have to dress it ourselves, babe.
Wow.
So, but I'm gonna put a little orange on it.
So if you don't know what conch salad is, conch salad comes from a shell and indigenous.
It's a snail.
It's a snail.
A sea snail, an indigenous sea
Indigenous
snail.
to the Caribbean waters.
Mm-hmm.
In the Bahamas, you can eat it year-round. In Jamaica, they have a cutoff time when you can eat it.
Really? Because they eat so much of it over there?
Well, they have a seasonal where they want theirs to grow back. So you can't eat it
All year round?
all year round, except for Bahamas is one of the places. This is something that we've always grown up on.
Yeah, we don't care. We eat conch all year round. You know what I
This
mean?
is part of our.
You can actually go to like places like out islands like Inagua, Meguana, and like walk out from the beach out into the water, and you can pick the conch up right as close to the shore in shallow water. So you can pick the conch up out of the ocean and have somebody cut it up and prepare it for you. You know, you have fresh conch salad straight out of the sea. So this looks pretty fresh right now.
No, this is because it's so kind of early. So they have this just right.
Okay.
You got to take a taste.
Good job. Here we go.
Now, technically, it should be with some kind of pepper.
We'll see if it has it. You know what? I'm gonna let Geoff taste it first because he could taste whether or not it has enough pepper for him.
There we go.
Take a bite.
Okay.
How's it taste? Okay.
It's got a slight pepper,
That's like pepper.
very slight. Not overwhelming, like I like it.
All
Go
right.
ahead, take a taste.
My taste. My time to taste. Here we go. Ready?
There you go.
Yeah, it's okay. I think it's got enough pepper though.
You feel the bite.
Yeah. Yeah, I really do feel it. Awesome. Here, let me give you another bite because I know you like this. You were eyeing this on the menu
That was.
when we came in. So, all right, ready?
I'm ready there. I'm ready.
Okay, open wide. Awesome. So,
That was excellent.
I can't wait for the paella to come.
Absolutely.
So I guess, they said it's going to take a half hour for the paella to come. So, what we can do is we can take a little break while we finish off
Well, we went to this week we went to the WTO, World Trade Organization presentation, because the Bahamas is seriously considering joining the 163 countries that have already joined. It's 163 and 165 that have already signed up. So we went to that presentation at the office of the Prime Minister's building, and
That was Wednesday?
that was Wednesday.
Thursday. That was Thursday at 6 p.m.
And
But
learned a great deal about what we
about
would-
how WTO works, yeah.
and what the Bahamas could get out of that, and how that would benefit our country.
It seemed like the whole world, it's from the map that they showed us, the majority of the world are members of the WTO already. So if you're not a member, you can definitely get left out of a lot of benefits.
A lot of benefits.
Well, basically it's a tax regime. It's to get everybody to on a equal playing field when it comes to paying taxes.
Doing business as well.
We get it in international trade. It's something. It's a security mechanism for international trade, and we only saw that there's a few countries in North Africa, Western Africa, and North Africa that aren't signed on yet.
And a small one in Eastern Europe, very tiny.
Yeah, but other than that, all of Europe is on the WTO. Are members of the WTO. All of Africa, most of Africa is.
South America, all of South America.
All of South America, all of North America, Canada, Australia, and
Asia.
Russia.
China. Russia
Russia's
is
on it.
part of the WTO.
China,
Japan, the Asian.
India.
The Seychelles.
The Seychelles, even the small little islands, like the Bahamas, the small island developing states, which we call SIDS, most of them are part of the WTO because it makes sense to be part of the WTO in this day and age. You have to comply with taxes all over the world because every country in the world, every government in the world needs taxes in order to to do the necessary services for their citizens. As a citizen, it's really your obligation to pay your share of taxes so that the government can create laws, can pay police, pay the military, so actually your country can actually achieve self-actualization, like as illustrated in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You can't just rely on survival of your country by paying for the basics, which is food, water, shelter, clothing. You have to provide security. You have to provide a situation where families can come together, they can grow, they can thrive, all the way to self-actualization, just feeling comfortable within yourself and
growth
and formulating groups of like-minded people that can also network and grow, right? So
we're just experiencing a 12% tax that's coming up in July 1st here for the Bahamas.
Which
Now,
is small pittance compared to tax regimes around the world, where like in the United States, some of the people are paying. The people in the United States are paying anywhere from a third of their income to 60% of their income in just taxes alone. Everywhere you go, you pay taxes, and that is, like I said, to support the federal, the state, and the county levels. And municipal levels, which are the city levels. You've got 4 tiers of government organizations that all have to get money from the kitty in order to function and have provide jobs and provide services for
The maintaining of infrastructure,
exactly.
all of this, and the Bahamas is a growing country, a young country, but
Developing
growing
nation.
and developing and growing very, very quickly. So the 12% comes in July 1st. The Bahamas needs to decide on the WTO, joining the World Trade Organization by 1999, and then upon everyone agreeing, the Bahamas agreeing, then we become official members in 2020, which I feel we're aiming for. The country needs it. It's a powerful resource.
And also too the presenter, the project manager for
Who presented it to us that evening, Ava Rowland.
Ava Rowland, right? She did indicate and did tell us that that we've been at this. We've been at this for what, the past 17 years?
Yeah, the WTO started 17 years ago.
Exactly. And the Bahamas is now just getting on board. And I remember in the last administration, the former Minister of Financial Services, the Honorable Ryan Pinder, he was the one that initiated the necessity for the Bahamas to ascend to the WTO, just for survival purposes as a nation. And of course, there was much debate back and forth whether or not it is beneficial for us to do it or not. And then now we're learning that the Bahamas is now at a disadvantage in international trade if we don't ascend to the WTO, because countries within our trade bloc, which is CARICOM, Caribbean trade bloc, countries like Mexico, for instance, can charge us up to 40% tax on imports or exports or whatever, as compared to other countries that are part of the WTO, where they can only charge 5% tax for imports and exports because of the agreements under the WTO.
It levels the playing field for all of us to do business equally and to all benefit the same and to all have the same protection.
Yeah, thank you very much. So,
So the WTO has a great importance.
yeah, to level out the playing field, and countries that aren't part of it, they get left out. And as far as the WTO is concerned, they don't get involved in international disputes or any disputes whatsoever. All they do is provide services and rules, and the platform for which countries will agree on the taxes and the procedures of international trade between one another. The WTO is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. So we all know that Switzerland is known for being peacekeepers of the world, and they're also known for holding everybody's money when people decide that they want to go to war. So Switzerland has always been neutral in every aspect of international diplomacy and banking and just they always wanted to be neutral. They never want to take sides on anything. Just offer services that everybody in the world can enjoy. So
this is something that we're looking forward to joining, becoming a part of at that point in time.
And we're also looking to be neutral too. We want to be the little Switzerland of the Caribbean, you know what I mean, of the world, of the Western Hemisphere. The Bahamas, that is, wants to be the little Switzerland. So this is the first step to being the little Switzerland of the Western Hemisphere. It's to act like Switzerland. You know what I mean? If you can't beat them, join them.
And enjoy it as you're doing it.
Exactly. You want some more?
Absolutely, man.
You know you gotta have some of this. I love you. I love you, Geoff.
I love you too, Gina. As I'm eating my conch and trying not to choke. Don't mind me.
So now they talked about
Conch is full of protein. Protein thing.
Yeah.
It's like a steak.
make your back strong.
There you go.
Strong like bull. And Jeff's back is very strong.
Thank you, dear.
That's right. Back off, ladies. I'll beat you like a...
I know you let me know when my back get weak.
That's right.
My back gets sick.
That's good. So,
Trying to give you a really beautiful view of the place.
well, some of the notes that we took were that
Oh yeah.
the WTO does provide rules for new products and new industries that are developed after original negotiations have already been set in place. So if you do create a new product, usually they have blanket negotiations already that cover whatever product that you want to sell
For trade,
or
for each country, that comes out of each country.
That's exactly. So there are blanket negotiations, but however, if you do create a new product that does not fall under any of the categories that they already cover, the council will actually meet and make a decision on what those regulations should be on your new product that you created or your new invention that you created. So when you get this new creation, make sure that you get a patent, especially at the U.S. Library of Congress, registered at the U.S. Library of Congress, and then you could go to the WTO, and once you have your intellectual property rights straight, you get a good intellectual property rights lawyer, you get everything registered properly, then you can probably present it to a WTO council or your representative in whatever country you're in, and they can go through the process to see whether or not you qualify for presenting your product before the council, which I think is awesome. I think that's a necessary service that we do need in international trade. We need added protection as globalization ensues, as we become a smaller world. Like in Disney World, it's a small world after all. As we become a smaller world in international trade and business and communications, we need to have we need to have more protection, more security. And like Geoff said to me a couple days ago, he said no one envisioned that someone would create an internet. So something like an internet, internet services, specialized internet services, even those need to be protected as well. Cyber, any kind of cyber business, all of that, that's open for interpretation. So the WTO kind of covers the new world that we actually live in as we leave behind the old world. So that's what we actually gathered from the discussions as well.
And there is no need to fear taxes, especially in our country, the Bahamas, because concessions are being made available to those who will have difficulty, who will have the most difficulty. There's something called Over the Hill, and which is the other side of the island of Nassau, which will get all concessions. They won't have to pay taxes. And there are other concessions. There's a trade school here where they're giving away scholarships and upgrading the school. So a lot of things are starting to come from the increased taxes that we're experiencing, that we're going to experience July 1st.
And you know what's another thing, Geoff, that a lot of people, we're watching the debates going on in the House of Assembly. We've got the member of Centerville saying that the 12% VAT increase is going to affect the Bahamian citizens living in the Over the Hill area in his constituency. We've got the MP for Pine Ridge, Frederick McElpine, also singing the same song too, that the 12%,
Song of Woe.
the song of woe, exactly, of the 12% VAT increase affecting his constituency as well in Grand Bahama. But what these two MPs fail to realize is that the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Dr. Hubert Minnis, the Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, has already, before the VAT increase before the VAT increase was announced, then the new budget was announced on May 31st. Dr. Hubert Minnis already put measures or put systems in place to protect the over the hill communities from taxes. He already made them a tax exempt zone. That was his first. That was actually one of the first things that he did, and I think he started it around, was it November or December 2017? He already started putting measures in place to declare
Give benefits to people who
live in the Overhill communities,
who are having difficulties with finances and there's unemployment. So to assist them, and they're really putting it upon the middle class and up to really experience.
And he started the Baintown cleanup, the Baintown Over the Hill cleanup, and Centerville and all that. He started cleaning up those areas, and he announced that he was cleaning up those areas so that they can make the Over the Hill communities a tax-free zone. And that includes Bain and Grantstown, that includes Centerville, that includes Englerston, that includes Marathon, that includes the whole central part of the island. All right? So you guys will be exempt from paying that 12% VAT increase. So there really is no reason for anybody to be to cause any alarm or for anybody to be scared.
Have any fear? No fear at all.
No fear for a VAT increase because it doesn't affect you. It only affects the people in the coastal areas, people in Killarney, people in Yamacraw, maybe, you know what I mean? People that live in Paradise Island, people that live in the tourist areas are the ones that are going to be affected by the 12% VAT increase, not the people over the hill. It's not, that tax is really not for you, okay? And the bread basket items, all of them are going to be tax exempt, except for sugar. So as long as you're not eating sugar all the time, you don't have anything to worry about with that. Plus, the people in Grand Bahama, especially, all right, they're already tax exempt because they're covered under the Hucksville Creek Agreement. The Grand Bahama Port Authority has already declared that Freeport is a tax-free zone, right?
Except for 8 Mile Rock, which would fall.
But you know what? If you live in 8 Mile Rock, guess what? All you have to do is get in your car, drive to Freeport, go shopping, do grocery shopping over there once a week or whatever, twice a week, or whatever you do, and then go back to 8 Mile Rock. And then you can also participate and enjoy the tax-free benefits of being in Grand Bahama. So that 12% VAT is really nothing for anybody to worry about. There's enough concessions out there to not make that affect you at all. So, you know, just so that you have the information and you stop spreading alarm and stop making people scared of the decisions that the government has to make to secure their revenue so they can run a government. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the politics. You know, the politics has nothing to do with you. All you have to worry about is the concessions. All right? And the concessions are, what are you getting out of paying that 12% if you have to pay it?
And be well assured that this country, as well as most of the other countries in the world, are heading into the 21st century stronger for doing things of this nature, because the world is getting smaller and much more interesting, and we're able to participate The Bahamas has a lot to offer. There's so many people here from all around the world, and so many Bahamians who have gotten their education all around the world and have come back home. So there's a lot of participation that you're going to see from the Bahamas shortly. And not only hoping, but this is one example, the Geoff and Gena show. One example, this did not exist.
This is actually, we can actually consider this an export because we are in 70 countries around the world, and we do have a following, particularly in Asia. So we like to thank our people in Asia and in South America, and also in the Middle East. We have a huge following in the Middle East as well. So it's growing every day. It's growing. We add another country, and we get more friends around the world. We're up to about maybe about 80,000 viewers around the world. So
And here comes the paella.
boy, very very. Yes, yeah.
Thank you. And there it is. And so you are now experiencing episode 15 here with Miss Paella. And you know a little bit more about the Bahamas. And you know that if you are from Spanish descent, you can find your favorite restaurant here.
That's right. Look at
So
this.
please feel free, check into us for episode 16.
Geoff,
you wanna
this looks beautiful. I mean, this is the Valencia paella. So I tell you what, when we end up in Valencia, Spain, we're going to order the same thing in Valencia, Spain, and then tell you guys the difference between paella in the Bahamas and paella in Spain.
So from Geoff and Gena,
Right. We're going to say goodbye for right now, and so we can enjoy our lunch. And tell
lunch,
you what,
brunch.
Lunch, brunch.
There we go, brunch, lunch.
Brunch, lunch, munch.
There we go. So from Geoff and
I'm Gena, and we're going to say goodbye until next time. And so we'll see you all later.
take care.
Okay.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.